Alright guys, I was watching a video the other day by another YouTuber, Survival Lilly, and she was demonstrating the use of the Ferro rod. She was showing two methods, the first being what she calls the floating method, where the rod is held in the air and the striker is either run down the rod or the rod is pulled through the striker. The second method she showed was what she calls the pinning method, where the rod is pinned to the floor or to your tinder bundle, and you strike directly into your tinder bundle. I have a third method that I use, where rather than using the full length of the rod, I'm only using the end of the rod. So again, you can pin it down and you're just using the end of the rod. So you using the very end of the rod, you're conserving the full length of the rod. So rather than thinning the rod as you go, you're only using the end of the rod, and then once that bit's worn, move up to the next bit, move up to the next bit, move up to the next bit. So you're conserving your rod for future use. You'll get many more thousands of strikes out of the rod. Just for the sake of this, we're just going to use cotton balls. First method she shows was the floating method. So that's your floating method. Second method, again using the cotton ball, was the pinning method. So we're holding the tinder down with the rod, and we're striking into the tinder bundle. So the method I use, we have called this the key method. So you're sort of choking down on the rod, and you're just flicking. So it's basically like turning a key. So we're just flicking the end of a rod. So we're only using the very tip of our ferrocerium rod, so conserving the full length of the rod. Lily's argument was that if you're holding the rod in the air and you strike the length of the rod, the distance the sparks are travelling is allowing time for them to cool before they hit your tinder bundle. If you're using the full length of the rod, the sparks, even if you're using the contact method, the pinning down method, the sparks are still travelling the full length of the rod from up here, so they're cooling from here to the end of the rod. So rather than using the full length, chuck up on your rod, just use this end of your rod. That's all you need, just the tip of the rod. So you can have plenty of fires in a ferrocerium rod. But I'll leave that with you guys.